Did y'all know that there was a bank in North Carolina that just got jammed up for redlining in 2024? Well, let me see what year was it actually. It was in the report of the settlement is from February 2024, but let me see when it was actually going on. Okay, 2017 to 2021. Can you imagine that? A bank redlining in modern times. Of course you could imagine it, because if you look around, this racism stuff is everywhere still. It didn't go anywhere. They just came up with new names for it. Let me read this. This is from the justice.gov website. Let me just read the headline, because this is even disrespectful itself that it's such a low amount of money in this settlement. Justice Department and State of North Carolina Justice Department and State of North Carolina secured $13.5 million agreement with First National Bank of Pennsylvania to resolve redlining claims in North Carolina. Now, yes, I know I said First National Bank of Pennsylvania, but they are operating branches in the state of North Carolina. So that's just to clear up some confusion right there. So the bank, FNB, has agreed to pay $13.5 million to resolve allegations that it engaged in a pattern or practice of lending discrimination by redlining predominantly Black and Hispanic neighborhoods in Charlotte and Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Redlining is an illegal practice in which lenders avoid providing credit services to individuals living in communities of color because of the race, color, or national origins of residents in those communities. Now, let me see here. Let me read a little bit further down, because this part is interesting. With this settlement, the Justice Department's combating redlining initiative has now secured over $122 million in relief for communities across the country. But we recognized how much work we have left to do, and we are not letting up on our efforts to combat discrimination in lending wherever it occurs. So pretty much what they're saying is they've been finding instances of discrimination along racial lines, and they've been putting all the money into this one big pot. And overall, they got $122 million so far. They to me, I really do get a little bit blown from some of this stuff right here. Let me read this quote. This agreement will have a transformative impact for Black and Hispanic communities, providing them with new opportunities to become homeowners, bank in their neighborhoods, and create generational wealth, said Assistant Attorney General Kristen Clark of Justice Department's Civil Rights Division. As we take time across the nation to commemorate Black History Month, we must also create space to acknowledge the ongoing harms caused by structural racism and long-term discrimination. Modern day redlining is a stain in our I'd love don't because y'all been here before, so you know what I'm about to say. Don't we all love when something is happening to Black people mostly, and then they just throw Black and brown in there? Don't y'all just love that? How many Hispanic communities in North Carolina do you think is dealing with these racial stuff that been going on since the 1800s? Huh? Let me hold on. Let me look up. Let me look up something real quick. Just give me a second. Okay. They got a lot of Hispanic people there, actually. Yeah, they got a lot. Okay, let me see. Give me a second, y'all. Give me a second. They got... All right. So, yeah, there's 22% Black population, 10% Hispanic, which is ethnicity, not race. But that's a lot. That's a significant amount. But either way, though, how much of that redlining you think is happening Black and brown communities versus the Black ones? Because I feel like if it was really happening to the Hispanic communities, one of their civil rights groups would have been on top of it, because they have some powerful groups in this country that really put work in for them. But when you see something like this, and it's actually Black people that are pushing the charge for all that, it's normally because it's happening mostly to Black people, right? And we just have a hard time just saying Black people and sticking to Black people. Meanwhile, when other people fix problems for their community, they never include Black and brown. It's never Black. They never add the Black to it. They just stick to their people and they help their people. We have a hard time with that. But anyway, one another major thing I'm annoyed when it comes to that FNB situation, that First National Bank of Pennsylvania situation, is the fact that they only hit them up for $13.5 million for redlining. I think they should have been put out of business. I don't think they should just get a little fine. How are you committing a major civil rights violation along racial lines in 2024 and you only get slapped with $13 million? They should not be able to operate as a company anymore. How many times is the federal government going to allow banks to be proven to be using racist behaviors and tactics on the population and the consumers of this country? And they just going to keep on letting them stay in business. They're never going to feel like the punishment is hard enough if you keep on just giving them a little, oh, here, take this little fine and get back to doing your business. You have to start putting these people out of business. If you force them to close their doors, that will tell other companies to say, hey, we don't want to do this anymore. Let's make sure that we do not discriminate against black people because they will shut us down. Like, that's what civil rights attorneys, that's what y'all should be fighting for. Like, the money is cool, but we never going to see that money. Like, where's that money going? Let me tell y'all where it's going. So this is what they said the money is going to. The Justice Department in the state of North Carolina has resolved their, okay, that's the headline. The consent orders require FNB to invest $13.5 million to increase credit opportunities for communities of color in Charlotte and Winston-Salem. What? So they've been redlining, and their punishment is to say they got to increase credit opportunities for. What? What's that mean? That's not even a concrete punishment. What do you mean increase credit opportunities? So that means they could use that money to hire more people at their own bank. They're not even giving the money up. Here, let me read this part. There's some bullets points. Invest at least $11.75 million in a loan subsidy fund to increase access to home mortgage, home improvement, and home finance loans to residents of majority black and Hispanic neighborhoods in Charlotte. Spend $1 million on community partnerships to provide services related to credit, consumer financial education, home ownership, foreclosure prevention, all that. But see, this is the game they play, right? $1 million of our little 13, I'm saying our, but it's the North Carolina community and Winston-Salem and Charlotte. $1 million of our money for this settlement of racism has to go to y'all racist people funding education for us? No. Come on, man, with this stupidity. $750,000 for advertising, outreach, consumer financial education. Like, how is this a punishment? They got to open 3 new branches in predominantly black and Hispanic neighborhoods. I feel like with at least one mortgage banker assigned to each. They got to hire a director of community lending who will oversee the continued development of it. Like, this is the dumbest. And excuse me for just critiquing somebody else's work to seek justice. I don't mean to feel like I'm being harsh, but listen, we don't want racist banks to start hiding their racism and doing programs in the community. We want racist banks to be shut down. Get rid of them. What are we doing? If y'all ain't going to find them no real money, you're going to find them $13 million and $1 million of that got to go to them educating us and educating the community, and then 11.75 going to a subsidy fund to increase access to, like, think about this. Why is it going into a subsidy fund? That's just money that they should just be loaning to people. 11.5 million in this economy right now. What's that? Let me see. The average home price is what? 250 right now, 250,000. So that's what? That's 44 houses. What are we talking about? These people have been promoting redlining, declining to give black and Hispanic people loans in the Charlotte area. Charlotte is a major metropolitan area. and their punishment is to provide access to loans for another 44 houses. What? And that's assuming that all the houses is 250,000. If we being realistic, you going 250 is probably low right now. So you know what I'm saying? 300,000-400,000. Who in the world is gonna benefit from that? You about to get 10 houses out of that. Not 10, you probably gonna get 30. You probably get 30 new loans out of that when you've been redlining in two cities. In North Carolina, there's two metropolitan areas. The Charlotte area and the Winston-Salem area. That's not enough money to even fix a redlining issue. That's not even enough money to undo what they did for 4 years. How many people have they only denied loans for 40 people? Like, come on, man.